Ah, Kim is here. Amazing.
Rob, Rob,
Buddy.
my man, what are you doing, bro?
Yeah, when I swing, I put that fire to your chest. Talking ass, better wear a fucking vest.
I mean, and this is just kind of, I wouldn't say it's neither here nor there, but it's indicative of the world we live in now. I think we've become so obsessed with proof that we've almost used it as a way, as a gateway of saying if we can't prove something demonstrably, then the thing doesn't exist. And I think that's fallacious.
Well, why should we believe in things that we can't prove exist?
Well, I'm just saying I'm not thinking. See, the thing is, there's different lines of reasoning to infer something. One is just that inference, induction, senses, and like abstraction. Like there's it's not just tangible proof. There's lots of lines of logic and reasoning and induction and
Sure,
inference.
but you're not saying that God exists metaphorically. You're saying that God exists literally,
Yes,
physically,
absolutely. 100%.
within the confines of our known reality.
Absolutely, I am.
So if a thing exists, right, it can be demonstrated to exist.
Yeah.
And it should be able to be measured.
Mm.
Right?
Well,
like any other physical thing that exists within our reality, right? It's funny that I can confirm the existence of a star 400 light years from Earth, something that human eyes have never witnessed, right?
Yeah.
Based on light that's 400 years old.
You can't prove that the star exists.
I can prove that the star existed at that point in time. I'm measuring the light.
But how do you know that what you're seeing is what's there? How do you know that's not some AI project? How do you know it's not some program?
Because I can see it. I can confirm it with data. People on the other side of the planet can look at the same patch of sky.
How do you know that you're
measure that?
How do you know that someone's not hoodwinking you?
Because no, I don't have to trust anybody. I can observe a thing, write down the way that I observed it, and someone on the other side of the planet who doesn't know me and has no reason to lie to me and has no reason
I'm not saying they do, but I'm just saying.
And observe the same patch of sky and see that same star.
But I don't think you apply the same standards for God that you apply to other things in your life.
Why not? Why should
God?
God?
What I'm saying is, I think you have a higher scrutiny for God's existence. I think you apply harder standards for God's existence than other things that you can't prove.
Like what?
But that you know are true.
What
things that we know are true that we can't prove?
Like what?
Things that we both know are true that we can't prove. I know for a fact that, maybe I'm learning this wrong, but I know for a fact that abiogenesis is scientifically impossible and logically absurd. I can't prove it, but I know it.
I mean, you believe it.
I can't. Right? It's
you
just
personally
no way.
Believe that. Abiogenesis is an unresolved issue currently in biology.
Okay. Well,
it's the most likely candidate for the origin of life, but it hasn't reached that level of evidence yet. You're right.
It never will.
Man, it would have gotten the closest of anything else. I think the only closer thing, or rather, the only other thing that got anywhere near as close would be panspermia, and that's sort of been abandoned by science or by biology. Although it's personally, I think it's far more interesting.
It's the most insane theory I've heard in a long time.
I mean, have you read the research?
No, but just on the
hold on. So you haven't read the research?
Nope.
But you're making a judgment on the validity of the conclusions that research arrived at.
Because it on the face of it, it's just impossible.
But you haven't read the research.
It doesn't matter.
It does matter. How are you judging a thing that you haven't learned about yet? You don't know anything about abiogenesis.
Because I understand the concept of it.
What is the concept?
That life, we get carbon matter or organic matter from inorganic matter, and there's just no way that you can cross that bridge.
Well, the research would suggest otherwise, which is
the research is faulty and is.
How can you say that if you haven't read it?
Because I just told you I understand the concepts.
But you don't understand the research. Like you haven't seen the procedures that people, like the experiment that I sent you. I can actually find that notification real quick.
Right.
right? I mean, the paper that I sent you specifically about how amino acids can produce spontaneously. Hold on.
Okay, I will read that.
Well, I mean, this is. Well, no, now I'm in it. You've got me. Maybe I could just go to the Wikipedia page right now. I will find it.
Wikipedia, really?
Well, yeah. I'm looking for the Miller-Urey experiment, right?
You do know that Wikipedia is like
I'm not claiming this as an authoritative source. I want to get an abstract of it.
Well, here's
it simulated conditions similar to what we understand prebiotic Earth would be like, and it demonstrated that through excitation, through something like an electric spark, inorganic compounds could form into amino acids. Amino acids can be synthesized spontaneously.
How?
Through the excitation of that lightning.
How's that happen? What's the mechanism by which that happens?
That is a great question. It has to do with the chemical reactions of the specific.
But how does a chemical react if it's what?
Well, chemicals aren't like living things, right?
Of course.
But when they come together in specific combinations,
something to react, something's got to push it to get it started, man.
Sure, and that would be the hypothetical lightning storm that was happening above the.
Well, what caused the lightning storm?
I don't know. Weather. What causes any lightning storm? Weather.
We understand the problem is it's just everything is just kicks the can further down the road.
Yeah. And
that's a problem for your position.
No, it's not.
It is, man.
Things happen spontaneously in nature all the time.
What
are you talking about? Like weather. What? All of weather happens spontaneously. It's outside human control. I mean, it is ostensibly influenced by the movement of specific atoms in the sky, man, but it's not like it's not induced by anything. It's just weather. It happens. The orbit of the planets. It happens because of gravity, right? Because it's just how they form.
I hear what you're saying.
This necessity that you have for an initial cause is it just I don't understand why you need to exist.
Let me ask you a question. Do you know of any other case on the planet that you can think of where spontaneous generation happens?
Spontaneous
on its own, without any kind of
specifically, or just spontaneous generation of anything?
Anything, any kind of spontaneous generation that happens on its
own.
Well,
I mean, technically speaking, matter is not generated or destroyed; it's just reorganized, right? So, generated in what sense?
Like, okay, for example, have you ever known a car to start without, like, a car's a good example of spontaneous combustion,
but it's not spontaneous combustion, first of all, and that's not what we're talking about.
I'll just ask the question. Do you know of any case in the natural world, whether it's any category, electronics?
The Earth could be said to have generated spontaneously.
How?
Because there was no like active mover that caused.
How do you know that?
The birth of the sun caused an accretion disk, or caused matter to be flung out sufficiently far, right? And gravity did its thing. And these are just forces that they don't exist in a discrete sense. These are yeah, there's tons of scientific papers on the origins of the Earth.
Papers and proven evidence are not the same thing.
They are mathematical. Well, I probably shouldn't put my foot in my mouth here, but because I'm not a subject matter expert in astrophysics, right?
Yeah. Nor am I.
But it's this qualification of spontaneous generation, like assuming that the default state is for things to appear non-spontaneously, which I guess that sounds like a value judgment.
Sure.
I would say that everything that happens on Earth is essentially spontaneous in terms of like nature.
I would disagree, but that's a conversation another day.
Wildfires are spontaneous in the sense that we don't cause them, right?
Okay, we've been going for about an hour and a half now. I'm kind of tired, man, and I want to get some rest.
Yeah, man.